it doesn't come into play thereafter.
So let's get to our competitors. Emily Campbell representing Great Britain. Emily, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, in very good heart backstage. And there are two Polish athletes, Alexandra Mijaska, 27 years of age, and her teammate, that's Magdalena Kerouac, who's younger at 19. Tatiana Katarina, well, she is the standout athlete of these women. 28 now, we've seen her for a long, long time. 5 world and 7 European championships. The one thing that she's not achieved as yet is a gold medal in the Olympic Games. Also in the lineup here, Arpin Dalian, European junior champion in 2017. And the runner-up in the 2017 European Championships at senior level, Anastasiya Lysenko of the Ukraine. So the B group was dominated by this woman representing Turkey, Elena Kerouac. This is her third attempt at 104 kilos.
That's right, 3 out of 3. A couple of steps forward to steady herself, but it was enough to get a good lift on the board and to lead the snatch from the B group.
A personal best in the snatch phase, so a good start, and onto the clean and jerk where she dominated yet again. 127 kilos on the bar.
Yeah, the clean, no issue at all. Successful with 120. Big 7-kilo jump for this one, which was good. Went on to attempt a 131, wasn't to be. The fact she's facing backwards at the end didn't matter. She had her arms locked, feet were stationary, and at last she got the down signal.
And that 231 total that she achieved a new personal best in that regard. European junior bronze medalist last season. Well, that was the B group. Here, the opening weights for the 6 here in the medal final. And 231, it shouldn't be enough to trouble the lifters in the A group, but you just never know. And there, Tatiana Katarina, the outstanding athlete in this class, particularly at European level, and the record holder. Well, there's the Chief Marshal's desk, and there's the entry cards for the 6 lifters, which the coaches use to change their weights. And there's Emily Campbell, in very good heart, hails from Nottingham.
She's actually based on the border Nottingham and Derbyshire. Trains at the Atlas Gym in Alfreton with Dave Sawyer and Cyril Martin. In very good hands there. Dave is actually in the warm-up room with her as we speak.
And all being well, her mum Linda and her dad Trevor, they'll be watching on and hoping, as we hope, that she'll get, you know, 6 out of 6, which would give her an outside chance. I'm not going to over-egg this, but it would give her an outside chance of a medal.
Well, you might not over-egg it. I am. I think she's got a really good chance of a medal here. It's pretty much there for the taking. It's going to be, you know, I think gold and silver potentially are out of shot. Tatiana Katarina, Anastasia Lysenko of Ukraine, well, they are out-and-out favourites for the top 2 places, but the bronze is wide open, and Emily's got a really good chance.
So it's the first of the 2 Polish lifters out here. 96 kilos asked for. And remember that Elena Kerouac, this young 21-year-old Turkish girl who lifted 95 in the B group, then went 100, then 104. So Kerouac's got some work to do to get to 104 kilos.
Yeah, moving pretty well into a really good squat position.
Polish super heavyweight women. They've yet to find one as good as Agata Roble.
Agata Roble really was ahead of her days, wasn't she? An exceptional performer from the Polish team, and she did quite a few years with them before actually moving, I think, to the UK. Vanished off the face of the earth, though, when it came to weightlifting, and we've not seen her since. It was a sad loss for the sport.
Yeah, she was working in Peterborough in waste disposal. And then, you know, as you say, sort of disappeared. And it was also the days when the Polish women had their special camp, their special base, where they had not only weightlifting training but education training. But talking to the Polish coaches, I said, well, why is that not being maintained? And he said, it's simply politics.
Politics ruins sport, unfortunately. I'm sure it happens across most sports. It certainly does in weightlifting. But yeah, they did once upon a time have a very good setup in Poland. Not so much anymore, but they still do have a good number of lifters producing results on the international platform.
So the bar's gone up to 100 kilos. And Tatiana Katarina, well, she may have and should have the measure of the entire field. But when you get two lifters from the same country as we have here in Poland, this should be an interesting little duel between the two. So Mierzewska of Poland, 100 kilos. Well, that is not a good start.
It's not the ideal start that she would have wanted, is it?
No.
Let's take a look at the replay as we see the referees hovering over their buzzers. It looked like it was there for a moment. It was definitely at arm's length. She's clearly strong enough.
And Armenia's representative, Arpin Dalalyan, 20 years of age. It'll be really interesting to see what she can do with this opener here.
Well, she's indicating to the referees that her left elbow doesn't lock properly.
101 kilos lifted in the World Championships late last year.
And that's good, no mistakes on her opening lift.
Elena Campbell, who's posted 107 kilos for her opener. Katarina, 135.
Yeah, there's a few kilos deficit that Emily is going to be working towards making up over the next few years, but she is relatively new to the sport, so it's great to see her in this shape already.
Elena Kerouac.
Oh dear.
Well, this is not good lifting by the Polish women.
No, far from impressive, to be honest. The first one was okay. That one just didn't believe she could do it. And you're coming onto an international platform, you really do need to have done this 100 times before, even if it's just in your mind. Don't expect them to have necessarily lifted it in the gym. You've got to be confident in what you're doing.
Well, she was European junior champion last season, over 90 kilos, and snatched 103. She's done 104 at the World Championships. A bit mystified about that. And Mierzewska now on stage, and she can't afford to miss this. She really can't. She did 105 at the Worlds. European champion last season. 103 her contribution then.
That's a big swing again as soon as it came off the floor, around her knees. It's not ideal. And let's just put this in perspective, okay? We're looking at the women's super heavyweights here. The 144 kilo body weight. This is only 100 kilos. Now, I say only. If we look at some of the lighter lifters earlier in the week who were snatching significantly over 1.5 times body weight, it just puts in perspective how strong some of the lighter lifters really were.
Yeah, it also highlights in this particular category, Tatiana Katarina only weighing in 105, and everybody else heavier. In fact, Dalalian next, well, I'm just looking actually there. Actually, Lysenko of the Ukraine, 104 kilos. Those are the two light women in the competition in terms of body weight. But, well, Mishterska in real trouble
and
now.
The clock is ticking as well, although it has gone up. I'm assuming she made that change in time. So the coaches have to nominate the weight change before the clock runs 30 seconds. And she's gone up a kilo to try and buy a little more time. So clearly strong enough for the weight, but you can't get it there by swinging and expect it to be consistent.
Now, hang on, what's happening now?
Don't know, but the clock is ticking.
Yeah, I'm looking at, oh.
We're on
Well,
8 seconds.
I'll tell you what, this is a Polish farce.
5, 3, 2.
Well, Poland is all at sea. This is, well, this is a shambles. And the woman about to come on stage now, if she doesn't make this, there's no total. And out of 6 competitors, virtually 2 will be eliminated. Although Kerouac has got 1 good lift on the bar, but she's going to get left behind. So last year's champion, concerned, under pressure.
Well, a much better, feistier lift. Put a bit of oomph into that one. That's what we needed to have seen on the first lift.
Yeah, but it took 3 attempts to get there.
It is. She was champion last year.
Yeah.
Out of these countries then, David, which ones, just remind our viewers, which ones were excluded last year down to doping violations?
What, of the
countries that we've got represented here?
Russia, Armenia, Ukraine.
So half of the contingent that we've currently got in the A group were excluded from competition last year due to anti-doping rule violations.
So Dalalian on again now, and the bar's gone to 105 kilos. Just beginning to test herself now.
Just about stays on the platform. Arpin Dalalian of Armenia. 3 white lights from the referees. But she's probably the one person that's going to challenge Great Britain's Emily Campbell. She's got a big clean and jerk posted, 135, compared to Emily's 137. So there's a strong chance that it could be head-to-head between these two for the bronze.
Yeah, we'd like Emily obviously to get the 3 attempts and get a bit of a cushion of advantage. That will be really helpful. And it is going to be Emily coming onto the stage now.
I think you might find she's going up. Ooh, they've played a nice little
108.
tactical one, have they? Still Emily, yeah.
She's got the full minute. Her sister's not around to see her. She's a swimmer out the University of Miami, watching this, as I understand it, on Eurosport Player. Try and follow her sister. Swims for Jamaica. Now, Emily.
Great lifting from Emily.
Oh, nice one.
Relatively inexperienced at this kind of level, hasn't done a huge number of internationals, and this really will give her an opportunity to learn, and she's done so very well. Dave Sawyer in her corner, and it's great when...
Good man in her corner.
Yeah, and it's nice when you've got your personal coach in your corner as well. There's no change for her. A lot of these athletes that represent their countries will have their own personal coach and then have to go to a national coach at this level.
Well, there you have the whole group, A and B, but lift's already beginning to run out, but Lysenko yet to start, and of course Katarina waiting in the wings. So this is Daladian, and the bar has gone 109, just the kilo necessary to get ahead of Emily. But this is her third attempt.
And that's gone to ground. So Dalalian finishes on 105. And the good news for Emily Campbell of Great Britain, she's guaranteed a medal. Now she's going to try and assert herself and push even further forward and get ahead of Dalalian as best she can. That one just left out in front. So Emily has a real opportunity here to try and put a few kilos between the two of them.
Campbell, Great Britain, second time. Anastasiya Lysenko.
So Emily looking pretty focused here as she prepares to come back out. The weight on the bar is 112 kilos, so choosing to go up by 4. The best of Ollie was 114 in competition. She has done 115 in training, so what we do in training is kind of irrelevant. It's here that we need to see the big lifts.
She said to me in the back room, she said, I'm not thinking about medals. They'll decide what to put on the bar, and I'll get out there and lift it.
She's completely focused and has complete trust in the guys that are coaching. Not quite the setup that we saw on the opening lift. Needs to take her time to set up so she can really drive with the legs. That's a bit of a setback.
Yeah, she really needs those 112 kilos if she wants to.
Just lifted her backside off the floor, dropped the chest a fraction. It only has to be a fraction to put a swing on the bar.
Yeah, for an overall medal, she needs this at the third attempt. Now, just looking at the bar there, well, Lysenko's not ready to come out, and neither, of course, is Katarina.
Well, this is a dodgy... Is it a dodgy decision? Hopefully not if it comes off, but they've chosen to put Emily's weight up to 114. What that means is she's right on her limit in terms of where her best performances are. She's looking, obviously, for points here towards Olympic qualification. That's one of the big focuses for the British team. But miss it. And she's left right back down on the 108, only 3 kilo advantage over the Armenian. This is a big lift for Emily.
Would you have gone for that or just stayed on 112?
Oof, that's a good question, you know.
My gut feeling was originally...
do you know what? I'd probably go for it for the simple reason that on paper, Emily has a better clean and jerk as well. She does have 3 kilos plus a potentially better clean and jerk. So does she have anything to lose? Yes, she does, clearly. But I think it's a gamble worth taking, because if she can pull this off, then so it's not just going to be the 114. I think she's going 115.
No,
Dave, hold her back.
Lysenko. Lysenko's gone 115.
Well,
oh, no, hang on. What are they doing?
I think they're anticipating Lysenko going up, and she has done. That's a good call from Dave. He's read the board beautifully. He's anticipated what the Ukrainians would do and had Emily ready, so she's got the full minute. Well, come on, Emily. 115 now. This for a new personal best.
Now, strong enough?
Yes.
I think so. This is all about technique, precision.
Superb lifting, hold on to.
Brilliant.
Great lifting from Emily, personal best. What a platform to do it on. That's going to give her good points as she tries to prepare for the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, but that's a good counter-attack.
Just twisted in the shoulders a little. She's come from a throwing background, which is asymmetrical anyway, so probably finding herself a little more dominant in one side. That's a great recovery, and look what it means to her. Yeah,
and going into the clean and jerk, nice confidence boost.
Confidence boost, and Dave, a really good lead against the Armenians, so she's got a very strong chance now of a bronze for Great Britain.
So, Anastasiya Lysenko for the Ukraine out for her first attempt, 116. This is to go into the lead by the necessary 1 kilo.
Ooh, wobble, wobble.
It was wobble, wobble, wasn't it?
But she's good, she's okay.
170 kilograms at first, please. Sustaining there, Anastasiya Lysenko, Ukraine, 710.
A couple of steps nearly cost her. So important to be precise in the technical department.
Well, Lysenko's got the best of 125, which she did a couple of years ago in the over 90 class, and ended up with a silver medal. And more recently, 119 kilos in the World Championships in Ashgabat. But that would have been, in her eyes, not only getting some points, but a stepping stone towards these Europeans.
Completely.
So Lysenko sort of out on her own at the moment, because Katarina is going to just come out and...
Oh, it's so hard when you're literally out there on your own. Emily, Anastasiya Lysenko, and also Tatiana Katarina, they are all literally going to be following themselves. They're all kind of in their own league of ability at the moment. We've left everybody else behind. We're down to the top 3, but as you said, they will be following themselves.
So she's going for 120. Katarina is the world record holder, not just the Europeans, the snatch world record just out of academic interest, perhaps. 145 kilos, 185 for the clean and jerk, 330 for the overall total. What's she put in here today? 315, but it's up to Katarina, really, how she feels and what she wants to do.
It really is, and remember, Russia can only take one female lifter to the Olympics.
And that's the only gold medal she's not won.
It's a little slow, but Lysenko so strong. And do you know what? I think Emily Campbell, give her another year and she can be competitive with these kind of numbers, no problem.
So Lysenko building nicely, 116, 120. She's going to take that third attempt before we get to Katarina. Emily at the moment in silver, I mean, Dalalian in the bronze medal position, but the key, as Michaela explained to you, and as you can see there, 10 important kilos, the edge that Emily has over the Armenian.
I think those, I don't want to say too much, but those 10 kilos are a nice, tidy little cushion.
What do they say? Fortune favours the brave?
Yeah, well, I spoke to her before as well. I said, I'm not going to wish you luck. I said, luck doesn't come into this. The harder you train, the luckier you get. And from what I understand, Emily is a very hard trainer. She works with focus and determination, and a lovely person as well. So I wish her all the success possible in these championships.
Well, if Mum and Dad, Linda and Trevor, are watching, which hopefully they are, so far so good. Your young lady is doing okay.
Yeah, the fact she missed that 112 is kind of irrelevant because she went up in weight anyway. So
yeah, so she got to where she wanted to be in the end. So Lysenko, 124. So there are some real clear gaps opening up here now, particularly if she lifts this. Certainly puts her into a very strong position for the overall silver. Well, Michaela was reading the tea leaves at the bottom of the cup there and came up with a no lift. Absolutely right.
It just didn't look sparky enough on the second attempt for me. That was a 4-kilo increase. It's just all one speed. You've got to have a bit more spark in the lift when it passes the knees. There's got to be acceleration. So those of you watching, how do you lift? Is yours all one speed? And the way I coach it is to imagine speeds as in numbers. 1 is really slow, 5 is lightning quick, and really it should be a 1 off the floor, and as you get past your knees, straight to 5. Don't want to see a 2, 3 or 4, and that for me was probably speed 3 all the way.
Katarina now, 28 years of age. She's put the bar up. She proposed 135. She's coming in at 140. Snatch world record is hers at 145. I think she might well have a go at that.
She's hit a 155 in at her best back in 2014. Easy. Piece of cake. There's a lot more to come there.
But do you remember she was, you know, she was winning the world title in 2010, 2013, 2014. Everything was just motoring on. And then she lost. And for about a year and a half, 2 years.
It rocked her, didn't it?
Yeah, it did really rock her.
And then she's had disappointment as well. So that was the... so was that the Olympic Games she missed out on as well, didn't she?
So 1 lift required, 1 lift achieved, gold medal, and on her way to yet another European title. She won in Minsk in 2010, Kazan in 2011 on a Russian stage, in Antalya 2012, in Tel Aviv in 14, in Tbilisi here in Georgia in 2015, and of course Split in 2017. But of course Russia suspended last year, so she couldn't take part.
Yeah, there's only one title that eludes her, and that is to be able to call herself Olympic champion. So Russia only get 1 place now in Tokyo. That means that, quite simply, we don't know how Russia are actually going to decide who goes, but she's got to be there or thereabouts in contention. It's probably the favourite on the Russian women's team for that place.
Well, we've got to see what the Asians come up with, you know. We all know the Chinese can probably field 4 or 5 to take her on. But of course the Chinese have actually only got 1 place as well.
This could be interesting.
And they're more likely
to go
give
lighter.
it to a lighter.
Yeah. So the Olympic Games potentially could be a gimme for Tatiana Katarina.
146, predictably going for a world record in the snatch. Second attempt. Set the present world record in Ashgabat in Turkmenistan, November, December last year, in this new category.
Well, that's the easiest world record you're ever going to see. 146, and she looks comfortable. Is she going to go further?
Actually, she looks really good today. Really calm, well prepared. Walking slow, lifting fast.
Yeah, and the walking slow is about conserving energy and recovering as well. That looks so easy, David. Whips the shoulders a long way back. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that because it will put a swing on the bar, but it seems to be landing in the groove today.
The class act, certainly in Europe.
Yeah, she's going up, and she is going to take her third, and the bar's gone to one. Well, it did momentarily go to 150. It's come back to 147.
148.
Now 148. Well, either somebody's messed up back there or the scoreboard's all over the place. 148 appears to be the selected weight.
The thing is, though, that she's probably well capable of doing 150 on the evidence of what we've seen. But like those circus acts, you remember the guy with the spinning plates? And he could always get 10 spinning at the same time. He could do 11 and 12, but he always kept a few in reserve, otherwise he wouldn't keep breaking the record.
What was the pole vaulter called? He used to do that. Broke the world record by a centimetre at a time.
Isamaeva?
No,
you think?
The male pole vaulter. Everybody at home shouting at the TV right now. I feel an absolute muppet for not remembering his name. But yeah, break the world record by just a centimetre at a time. There we are. There's the 150 we're going to have a crack at. Sergei Bubka?
Sergei Bubka, yeah. Well done.
No, I didn't Google it.
Yeah, you struggle here. The internet's been...
Yeah, we can't Google it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one that everyone wants to see. 150 is a pretty special number for a guy to snatch, let alone a woman.
Weighed in at 105 kilos, now 150. So virtually 1.5 times her body weight. Good to see her, just pushing herself a little bit here.
Well, that 150, not to be today, just drops the chest slightly as she comes off the floor.
It's there, though. It will happen.
It will. But the difference, if you compare the two, this one, she just rounds in the shoulders as she comes off the floor. You can't let 150 pull you onto your toes like that.
Well, it's a terrible position to be in, isn't it? I mean, to be 26 kilos ahead, she must be worried.
Well, it doesn't really make it very fair for the other lifters. You'd hope she'd have given them a bit of a chance.
So she ends on 146, 120 to Anastasia Lysenko of the Ukraine, who's got the silver. Well done, Emily Campbell. 2 out of 3, 115, new personal best, and a bronze medal, and a nice platform to launch herself into the clean and jerk. Now, because there are only 6 lifters in the competition, there's a 15-minute interval because that's what's required to allow them to go through the warm-up process. So we're going to take that break right now. And 40 women's competition, as you can see there. Katarina tried that record attempt at 150, but well ahead, as you can see. Lysenko comfortable in second place. But Emily Campbell, good work in the first half, and that may stand her in good stead in her quest for an overall medal, and that would be a real confidence boost because, as you said, you know, her experience in this sport, certainly at this level, is minimal. She's
only been lifting for a couple of years. She's come from a throwing background, shot put and hammer, I think she said. So, you know, transferring is fairly straightforward, but she still had to go back and learn the basics. And I had a chat with her before. She said she spent a couple of months, you know, getting to grips with the full squat lift. and she's in good hands. Dave Sawyer and Cyril Martin, they're good technical coaches, and they would have made sure that she's moving well before loading her, which is often not done when athletes transfer from one sport to another. So it's great to see her having had the patience to master the movements before pushing the weights.
Well, it's Poland who are going to get us underway. In fact, it's going to be Alexandra Mierzewska for Poland to get us underway. European champion last year, but a shadow so far of what she produced. She produced last year 237 as a total, and coming out at 125 for her opener. That's a good 5 kilos down.
Did you get an opportunity to speak to the coaches and find out if there's any injuries or anything that's causing them to be struggling this much?
No, but they were, I wouldn't say negative, but they weren't optimistic. You know, when I suggested a medal and they were going, no.
That's deliberate oscillation and a press out. There's no way she's getting that lift.
Well, I'm looking at the jury in front of me.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
4-1.
You've got to be kidding me. She's been given it. So the jury, 4 of them failed it, 1 of them gave it, so therefore the lift stands. Oh, come on. Okay, so we've been praising the refereeing all week, but that to me was a bit of a mess. Whip, whip, whip. Look at the whip on that bar. That's not natural whip. She's doing that on purpose. And a press out. Come on, refs.
Not easy to see in those long sleeves, though. Well, not as easy. And here comes our teammate, Kerouac. I'm surprised, actually, at the president of the jury, because he does have the option when there's just one dissenter to have a quick word and say, are you sure?
They did look. They did ask the question to that one lift, the jury member that passed it. And he was like, no, it was a good lift. That's good. It's quite easy. When you stand out of the clean, it's very easy to get the bar to come to a complete stop. Any whipping on the bar is generally done deliberately, either by manipulating the breathing or a little wiggle of the shoulders, which will keep it bouncing. The bouncing movement just gives you an extra whip to help get it overhead. This one was good.
But still, Melike Gunel of Turkey in the lead with 231. She's at the moment got a 5 kilo advantage over Mierzewska and a full 10 kilos ahead of Kerouac, who just successfully started her clean and jerk campaign. So the bar now going up by 5 kilos. Of course, this would take Mierzewska to 231, but it wouldn't put her into the overall lead. But it would put her into the lead in terms of the clean and jerk.
Well, drops the chest.
This long sleeve will obviously, as you explained the other day, introduced to allow women from particularly the Middle East with their religious beliefs and requirements to compete in the sport. I mean, that's a good move. But should it be an option for them rather than just a general thing? I know it's, are we saying, you know,
Equal opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah, one rule for all.
Yeah, so I don't know. My view is if they're going to do it, then stick to the original rules, which is make it a unitard, one suit. So if you're wearing one suit, it's literally ankles to wrists, and it should have a hood on it as well to cover the head. Other lifters are taking advantage of this rule and are now wearing long sleeve shirts like you saw. The rules are that it needs to be tight fitting. Now what that actually means is a lifter who, for example, is carrying an elbow injury can strap the elbow using tape.
But you wouldn't know.
Which is not allowed. But if you're wearing the long sleeve suit, you can't see it. So it's a rule I would say that some lifters are using to their advantage, and I think it's a rule that potentially needs reviewing going forwards.
How would you know unless you got the technical controller to go round the entire warm-up room and...
Well, if they're going to keep the long sleeves, then they may as well get rid of the taping rule.
So Elena Kerouac. Well, at the moment, she's definitely the better of the two Polish women, and that 6 kilo increase takes her up to 227.
Well, you say the better of the two. She's only gone in the lead by 1 kilo over her teammate. Both of them now have 1 attempt remaining. So this could be an interesting little battle between the two Polish lifters. So this time, needs to keep her chest up. Come on then, can she stand? Yes, she does. I don't want to see the whipping on the bar. Oh, come on. She's okay, just a lack of oxygen. Undo that belt, get her legs in the air, she'll be fine. I remember once at the Europeans, I want to say it was back in '98 when Agata Roble, representing Poland, passed out, and she was out for a good few minutes. We'll take a look again. This time keeps her chest up, manages to stand up. That bar is sitting very high on the neck. Everything just closes in around you. Good news is she's back on her feet. She's being assisted off the platform. Should be fine. Probably a bit of a headache after that one.
Well, Majeska really a shadow of herself compared to last season. Finishing on 226, making literally only 2 out of 6 lifts. And last year, she took the gold medal at 237. Now, she was never going to beat Katarina on this stage this year, but that's a poor day in her office. So Arpin Dadian now.
Worth noting as well that neither of the Poles have managed to surpass the lifter from the B group. Malik Gunal, representing Turkey, well, she did a 231 total. Arpin Dadian, Armenia, 135 on the bar now. Clean is good. It's 2 arms length, just needs to steady herself. Not quite on perfect balance, hence the slow recovery.
170 kilograms to zabán, Magdalena Kerouac podala 7,36.
Well, the British coaches will have been watching this from the warm-up room just to gauge what kind of shape Dalalian is in on the clean and jerk. And I don't think this would have worried them too much. I think the coaches here have taken their eyes off the weights that were achieved from the B group. This is up 4 kilos for Kerouac, and this will only bring her to 231, the same total that Malik Gunal of Turkey achieved, but she did that first, so this is enough for second place.
So Maliki Gunal moving up sweetly at the moment.
Well, if you could hear the voice of the announcer, Bogdan has just announced that Emily is not taking the 137. She's gone up to 139. So last words of advice from Dave Sawyer. Emily looks calm, she looks collected and focused. So remember, Emily really is in the early days of her weightlifting career, so taking on board all the advice and guidance she can get at this stage. But now it's down to her. Nobody else can help her from here on in. 140 now on the bar. So just waiting for the 30-second buzzer. Oh, well, if I'm going to be impartial and fair, it's gone to arm's length very well. But there was oscillation on the shoulder. She needs to be careful. She's been given it.
So that puts her into overall first place. So Emily Campbell, 255.
A little soft here as it hits her in that receiving position. Good overhead, but she does need to be mindful of the bar whipping on her shoulders. It's been failed so many times. If she had a different jury here, she might find herself in a different position.
But she's got 15 kilos advantage over this woman.
It's enough. I'd put my money now and say that that Emily has secured that medal for sure. I cannot see Dalalian taking a significant jump, even if she gets this.
Well, she's in personal best territory. That's as hard as it comes. Oh. Well, I think what you said prior to the lift has now been almost authorized, certified, because, you know, she remains 15 kilos with only one attempt. So Emily Campbell, all that good work in the first half of the competition has really paid off.
Yeah, she's guaranteed herself a medal now overall, and not 100% yet on the clean and jerk, but the overall is what we're after. So Emily Campbell into a medal position and cannot be pushed out of that. We still have 2 lifters yet to start.
Clean and jerk rankings for you, but of course still Katarina and Lysenko. I mean, Lysenko should be secure in silver medal position, but if she were to run into trouble, remember, she only had a 5 kilo advantage over Emily at half-time. So, Arpine, I should say, has to come out again. No question about that, to try and take this third attempt. And there's the overall. Looking good. Maliki Gunal there, 231. Respectable performance for the European bronze junior. And there, the woman who commands all at European and at this moment in time, world level.
It's a fairly slow category because a lot of these athletes are following themselves, which means it's not flowing overly well. But Katarina, who will be coming out last, her coaches will take that into consideration when timing her warm-up. Well, that was a much harder clean. Does she have anything left?
I doubt it.
It's there. It's to arm's length. Just pushes herself away from the bar. That bar is a fraction in front and there's nothing underneath to support it. The bar has got to fall over one's base of support. And if it's forwards of the toes, then you may as well forget it.
Anastasiya Lysenko.
Well, Emily, only 24. Early stages of her career. This will be a big, big confidence boost for her, because whatever happens, she's going home with not one, not two, but 3 medals.
That's right. Emily's gone up in terms of her second attempt to 145. This is going to bring out Anastasiya Lysenko, unless she chooses to go up as well. Clock is ticking.
First attempts before second attempts as ever, and it is Lysenko's coming out at 145. There's no reason that she shouldn't or wouldn't come out for this. Remember, she has got this 5 kilo advantage over Emily from the first half of the competition. Now, if this is too heavy or there's a technical mistake, could become interesting. But Lysenko should be able to lift this up. I'm just waiting for the assessment from the guy. You just don't like that lift, do you?
Yeah. The clean was strong. Let's be positive. It's gone to arm's length and it stayed there. Technically not the best that we've seen. Well, here we go. Emily Campbell now. This an important lift. An important lift because it's pushing her own boundaries. This is a chance now to be hitting personal best territory. So come on, Emily, let's see what you've got.
There comes a time, and this is the moment for Emily where, as you rightly say, in terms of a competition stage.
Come on then.
Good clean. Come on.
It's gone to arm's length beautifully. Again, I just hope they don't pick up on the oscillation. This is me being totally impartial, obviously.
Absolutely. But she's enjoying herself. And that's another important thing. She's getting good lifts in here. She's now reduced that gap between her and Lysenko once again to 5 kilos.
She has, as we see the replay. Just needs to work on the timing there. She needs to be quicker underneath. Doesn't want the bar hitting her hard. That split position is fantastic. Great balance. Dave Sawyer, Cyril Martin, well, they've been doing great jobs in terms of technical development. Here we go. What's Lysenko going to? It was 150. She's now selecting. She's come back down to 48. Reason being, she wants to go. She's already in the. Hang on. She's already ahead of Emily Campbell on the clean and jerk.
By 5.
But she's come back down to 48. Why is that? Okay, common sense here. Emily's gone 150. She actually needs 51 as things stand at the moment to go ahead of Lysenko on the total. I think Lysenko's playing sensible here, just getting a few kilos extra on the board, knowing that Emily's really going to struggle if she gets this. So the 150 or 151, if we see it from Emily, would be a huge personal best. See how this one goes first.
Well, I think that is sensible decision-making by the lifter and her Ukrainian coaches.
Yeah, completely agree. An intelligent call.
Yeah, by weightlifting standards, this has been a very pedestrian competition. It's, you know, what are we, an hour and 10 minutes into it? Only 6 lifters. Well, it's there, 148.
149 kilos. And again, the second Anastasiya Lysenko, Ukraine, secretary.
Clean is a little bit lopsided, but that's just her style of lifting. Shuffle towards us to recover this one, but it's good.
So Emily Campbell at the moment 150, which would be, again, she's going in 5 kilo increments here to 265. I mean, I think this is probably...
She needs 51. 50's not enough.
What are you thinking of here?
To go to... Oh, it's irrelevant now, sorry, that she's... sorry.
Yeah.
Now Lysenko's got the 48, it's irrelevant. Yeah. So this for a big personal best.
Yeah, well, I think this is a really good decision that Emily and the coaches have made here. This would be 5 out of 6. It would be an excellent Saturday. One of her best, if not her best ever, in terms of her weightlifting career.
And this will be excellent points as well in terms of Olympic qualification.
You betcha.
Come on then, Emily. Stand, come on. Oh, what a shame.
Nonetheless, what is really good is that Emily Campbell joins the likes of Zoe Smith.
I think Emily stands on her own 2 feet here, and you know, she could well be the person that others are aspiring to be. She's made great progress in just 2 years in this sport. Just imagine how much further she can go with consistent training, hard work, and attention to detail now. That's what it's about for Emily, is ironing out a few creases, getting that timing a bit better on the clean so the bar doesn't hit her. But I think she's got a great attitude to really do that going forwards.
Yeah, but make her feel good. You know, Zoe Smith, Emily Godley, they've got medals. Now we've got another British woman in amongst the medals.
It's fantastic for British weightlifting. It really is. Just a shame that UK Sport have cut the funding. If anybody is listening from UK Sport, these guys need help. Get behind them.
Yeah, and we're doing little interviews with the British girls when they're successful, and hopefully British weightlifting will put them right on the homepage so everybody can recognise and enjoy the words of these achievers, because it's been a really good, excellent, best ever women's championship for British women's weightlifting. Now, Anastasiya Lysenko.
Not to be.
No way.
Gone dizzy on that one.
165 kilograms, please.
So she's secure at the moment in first, but obviously unless anything amazingly untoward happens,
yeah, not
she's going to get the silver.
Not a huge amount wrong with the clean, but just didn't fancy having to go at the jerk, did she?
No.
Tatiana Katarina, Russian Federation,
The Maliki Gunal of Turkey, probably feeling a bit frustrated, actually, that she wasn't in the A group here. You just never know whether she could have found a few more kilos. But as it is, you can see that's the state of play. And now Tatiana, 174.
What is the world record at the moment, David?
185.
Is that it?
Yeah, 185 clean and jerk. It's hers. Doesn't change anything, you know. Win the medal first.
So, sorry, the record is what, 185?
Yeah, clean and jerk.
Are we going to see a jump straight to that? Are we going to see her take any more attempts? Well, what do you think her game plan is?
Well, if she's looking for maximum qualification points,
then a sensible increment might be a better idea. Something around the 180 mark, maybe?
Well, you made the point, didn't you, about, you know, who are the Russians going to choose if they've only got one to send. So if she's got more qualification points than anybody else in the Russian women's division, she's got another argument to put before those who select. Eight European titles. Amazing, really, at senior level since 2010.
They're going 178, as you can see.
And of course, she couldn't compete last year. Probably would have won that had she been there.
Well, she needs to have a word with her teammates then, if that's the case. The whole team, if any of the Russians have been clean, then they need to be blaming their teammates and the coaching staff for letting the whole team down.
The most important thing about anti-doping measures are not that they're simply a punishment, that they are a true deterrent, and ultimately they are steps to change the culture of the sport.
And I think, David, I seriously think that having such a strong stance last year and kicking out those persistently offending countries was fantastic. But now the fact they've restricted how many people they can qualify for an Olympic Games, if that is not a deterrent going forwards, I don't know what is. So, just explain what's happened here. The coaches have nominated 178. The loaders came on, they changed the weight. The clock was stopped. And as soon as the loaders got off the platform, the coaches then upped it to 180. What that means is the loaders have to come back on and change the weight. And all the time the loaders are on the platform, the clock stops, therefore giving us some more time to recover.
So, second attempt here. 6 more kilos to 326.
It's nice. Strong lifting from Tatiana Katarina of Russia. She's the champion. The question is, does she want another attempt and a pop at the world record?
Kilograms in total. 181, please.
Good clean, good extension, strong to stand, brilliant split position, technically superb. There are not many men in most gyms around the world that can be hitting these kind of weights. 180 kilos.
183, please.
Well, she's got 326. The total world record is 330. So she's got to exceed that, which means she needs 5 kilos more.
I think she'll be looking for the clean and jerk world record.
That's 185.
Yeah, they're playing the game again. They've gone to 183. What that's done is stop the clock. Weights have changed.
There'll be one more change.
I think so.
Got to be. Just give her the time, I mean, not the team. She is the team. And Russia in a very close battle with Belarus for dominance in the medal table. So these 3 gold medals very much going to help Russia to re-establish themselves at the top of the table. So 185. Now, 185 is going to take her to 331, which is a total record. However, in the clean and jerk, it would only equal her own record. So she's going for the total rather than the clean and jerk.
I think 5 kilos is about on the money in terms of where she's at the moment. And I think, yes, the records are there. Yes, she's already got the records. But this is about, as we've said so many times before, qualification points. So the total is important.
Well, this to round off the women's super heavyweight competition. To be honest, it's been a one-woman show. Tatiana Katarina, world multi-European champion.
Finishes off with a world record on the total.
Yeah, and her 8th European title to go with her 5 world championship successes. And just that Olympic gold missing from her trophy cabinet.
Well, smiles of relief. It's nice to see some emotion. And to be quite honest, that was some world-class lifting that we've just witnessed.
So they're now readying the podium. Katarina with that 331. And then you've got to drop back to Lysenko on 268. And then to Emily Campbell with a big new personal best, 260 kilos, 4 out of 6 lifts. Terrific progress. This is the situation. Katarina making all her lifts in the clean and jerk, that is, and also getting that record in the overall total. Lysenko was always secure in second place. Emily Campbell, by some way, the best of the rest. So we're going to take a little break, and here after the women's total graphics here, you can see Katarina absolutely superior, but great to see another British lifter collecting medals at these European Championships. She joins Emily Godley and Zoe Smith as another major achiever.